Stop using the 70% rule. Guys, the 70% rule has probably have to be one of the worst rules I've ever seen in wholesaling real estate when it comes to 2023. If you are still using this outdated method that every guru and their mom tells you to do, you're going to end up broke. The reason why the 70% rule is a thing is because most gurus think you're stupid. They think you're idiots and they think you don't know what you're doing. The issue is in wholesaling real estate, when you use the 70% rule, when you actually use our formulas, you're too accurate. You're too good at what the actual numbers are, and you end up losing out on deals. The honest truth is, if I could tell you one sentence why you should never use the 7% rule, is because if you use the 70% rule on the average real estate house in the United States, your MAO would be 50 grand, which means every single deal you make 50 grand on at minimum, because that's what the 70% rule shows you. The honest truth is you're not making 50 grand a deal. You're making 10, 15, 20, which means that 70% rule is really not what the true multiplier needs to be. What we're going to teach you today is exactly the right offer formula, why you should never use the 70% rule, and exactly how you should do it in your own market. Now, there are certain markets in the United States where it is true and it is right. But for most people, the 7% rule is probably the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And we're going to show you exactly today why you should not do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, 70% didn't work when I started back in early 2000. And it's an old school rule. Yeah. And honestly, it's like, if you can buy a quality Rolex for $5,000, buy it, because that's the same thing by using the 70% rule. That's like a no-brainer rule. It doesn't really help you. Like, if you get it $76, take it. But you're going to have to use your brain. You're going to have to figure it out. That is the no-brain rule. But like, honestly, it was dying when I started this business over 20 years ago. And we're here to show you why.
We're ready to go. We're excited for this one. So the 70% rule, you guys are making offers the wrong way. And I'm telling you, for a lot of you guys, you're getting destroyed. And so whenever you're crying about how I'm doing the formula and my competition keeps beating me. No, your competition beat you. They got way, way, way above the MAO and they still made 30 grand.
Yeah.
Why is that happening? Because you're following a stupid broke guru who started wholesaling in 1994, where the average home price was $20,000. And now the average home price in that area is 300. And it's like, oh, yeah. Oh, I guess we can't wholesale like it's 1994. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, if I said that any other way, people think I'm crazy. If you tried to be an NFL coach and you did a playbook from 1994, it's never going to work. If you did a defense from 1994, it's never going to work. If you try to play baseball like they did in 1994 or basketball, it's completely different.
I miss the wishbone offense.
That's it, right? And so, like, if you try to put a car engine from 1994 and pass it off as a new one, it's never going to work. Why are you guys trying to use stuff from the mid-90s, those methods, into today for wholesaling? It makes no sense at all. Try running try to do a gaming PC from 1994 and try to run a new video game on it. Now, it's stupid. It doesn't work. You've got to change with the times. And the majority of wholesalers watching this have changed because they listen to us, but a lot of you guys aren't. And what we want to do today is show you why you shouldn't be doing the 70% rule, what's the right rule, and exactly why you're off and why you need to be doing it the right way. So let's talk about this. Let's get into it, and let's share this all. So first and foremost, the 7% rule sucks. What is the 70% rule? The 70% rule basically states, well, your ARV minus repairs, multiply that 70%, and then my favorite, my pet peeve is, then I'm going to minus off my assignment fee. Like, what? So are you telling me in wholesaling real estate, I can choose my assignment fee? Like, okay, I'm going to make 15 grand. But if I'm going to make 14 grand, I'm just going to say no. Like, that's, guys, what's my assignment fee? If I can make $1,000, I'm going to lock up the contract. If I make 100,000, I'm going to lock up the contract. Like, as long as I make money on the deal, I'm probably going to get it done. Like, I think that's a big thing. A lot of the wholesaling real estate, when you learn it, like, it's like, oh, you need to at minimum make 30 grand. No, wholesaling deals change. It's what's a win-win for you and the seller. And ultimately, you're never going to know exactly what the thing's going to sell for. So you got to go for a lower price. And so let's kind of talk about the 7% rule now, right? So the 7% rule really only works for houses under 120,000. And back when, you started wholesaling real estate, or even when I did 7 years ago, yeah, the average house was closer to that 120 grand. So the 70% rule worked. Yeah. But now it's not, right?
Yeah, that same house is over 350,000. So like, just do the math. 30%, just take easy math on a $100,000 house. That's what, 30 grand?
Yeah.
And now on a $300,000 house, it's 90 grand. Do you guys understand the disparity? Like, percentages get skewed as the numbers get bigger. They also get skewed when the numbers get smaller. And so if you don't understand this, I mean, the average home price is more than doubled, if not tripled. And if you don't adjust your formulas, you're going to get killed on this rule. Listen, I don't care if you make 1,500 or 150 grand on a deal. The number one rule in wholesaling I always look at is, what is my risk in the deal? And honestly, if I can mitigate my risk and even make $1,500, which I'm not a big fan of, guys, that's more money than a lot of you are making, and it gives you a head start on it. So you'll always look at the risk reward. I have so many people say, I won't do anything if I don't make 10 grand. You're going to tell me if you put a property under contract, you have a guaranteed buyer and you can make 5 grand with little effort, take the 5 grand. It doesn't matter. Like, in the end of the day, you can't get killed taking a profit. Yeah. The beauty of wholesaling is you can minimize your risk with little to none of your own capital and make an incredible return. And that's why we do it. And that's the theory of wholesaling. It's this 70% rule. You're stuck in a math equation. And if you stick to it, you're probably going to do 0 deals.
Yeah, 7% rule. So when houses were under 120K, it worked. That's why the rule is there. So like if I told you, hey, you weigh 500 pounds and you need to lose 25% of your body weight, that's pretty easy. That's pretty simple, right? Like, I mean, that's a lot, right? But if you weigh 100 pounds and I tell you to reduce your body weight by 25%, that's like insane, right?
Yeah.
That's how you skew large numbers, right? And a lot of you guys are really thinking that, like, hey, I want to make about 10% of the deal. But what if your deal's $4 billion? It's like 10% of the deal is insane, right? That's why brokers, when it comes to like big commercial real estate, they're not getting paid 3%. They're closer to like what, 1%, 0.5%, like way lower for like $400 million properties. So when the property values get bigger, you can reduce, the craziness of it. And so that's why you can use 80%, 83, like when the numbers get bigger. And with inflation, the numbers have gotten bigger. So if you're a broker and you're trying to list a $100 million house and you want to get 6% commission, it ain't going to work, okay? Because prices have changed, inflation's changed. So the average home price in America is not 120 grand anymore, Mr. Guru, okay? It ain't. The average home price in the United States is $416,000. The people giving these rules are people that wholesaled in like Michigan, where the average house they're wholesaling is 40, 50 grand, or like Dayton, Ohio. Like, yeah, you're still in that world, and I'm in that world too, but I'm also in the world of my local market where the average house is like 450 grand. That's where the majority of wholesalers are trying to wholesale, not in like guru land, USA. And so the average house is 416 grand. So if you're trying to use a 70% rule for a house that is 416 grand, either you need to really way overinflate your ARV and really be a little like do it wrong, make it so high that I guess it does work, or you actually know how to do it the right way, which we teach you, and you can actually do it the right way, right? So you got to understand, if you actually get good comps, if you use the 70% rule, your average assignment fee, your break even on 70% would be 54 grand. Now, if the average wholesaler made 54 grand, let's use the 70% rule. But they're not.
That's insanity.
10, 15 grand. So I'm just letting you know the reason these gurus are saying it, because they think you're stupid. They think you're going to overinflate your ARV and you're not going to calculate repairs at all. So yes, sure. Here's the problem with most beginner wholesalers. This is what they do. And I'm going to use an example. Let's do a Mickey Mantle signed baseball. I like a Mickey Mantle. If you go on eBay and look for comps of what signed Mickey Mantle baseball cards are, baseballs signed by him, they're going to sell between $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 based on the condition, right? But like roughly. Okay. And so if I go out here and I have a Mickey Mantle signed baseball, this is what the average wholesaler does. The way beginner one. This is what the gurus want to do. They see they see like 20 or 30 of them selling for $3,000 to $4,000. They're like, but wait, this one sold for $500,000. Yeah. That's a comp. And that's like his 200th home run or whatever. They're like, that's a comp. And they're going to see one sell for $1,000 and say, nah, that's not mine. And they have this optimism in the brain that no. It's this crazy one. And a lot of wholesalers are really, they want it to be half him. Of course they do, right? But the truth is, it's the regular $3,000 to $4,000 one. And if you can actually be level-headed and be smart, I think you guys are smart. I think you're smart enough to know what a 3-2 with the same type of house will sell. I think you guys are smart enough to do that. Gurus think you're dumb. They legit think you're a stupid, just idiot, and they just want your money. They call you stupid idiots behind closed doors. We're not going to get into that right now. But that's what they actually think you guys are. And they think you're going to overthink how much the thing is worth. And so, of course, if you shoot it like crazy, then sure, the 70% rule will help put you back down to reality. But if you actually do your numbers right, and unfortunately it's unfortunate for you and I, in freelisting.com, we actually have a simple strategy I'm going to show you guys today. Within 2 minutes, you can be very close to what the real numbers are. They don't think you're smart with repairs, so they don't teach you it. And honestly, the 2 charts that we're going to show you today, you're going to make about 90% accurate on the numbers if you know what you're doing in under 2-3 minutes. It's insane, but it's true. And that is because of that, we don't have to be using that stupid stinking 70% rule. So what are the charts for figuring it out, right? Let's go into freelisting.com, my free listing course, our free listing course. And we're going to go to the ARV section. And in the ARV section, we have a very simple, easy, handy dandy to do chart. So this is inside of freelisting.com. Everyone should be in freelisting.com. If you're not, you're behind the 8 ball here. If you go to freelisting.com, we have a really easy repair chart. So if you want to figure out what your repair should be, honestly, all you need to do is just go to right here. This is the repair chart. So basically what that is depending on if it's a light, medium, heavy repair, this is exactly how much your repair should be. If it's under 1,500 square feet, a light one should be 15 grand, a medium should be 25, heavy should be like 60, right? Mm-hmm. Then with the square footage, it just switches up and it kind of changes from here and there, right? What you have to know about that is like, that's what repairs are. Don't go crazy. Don't go nuts. Don't like go, oh my gosh, how do I do this or that? This is what it is. Like, honestly, like if you want to get the repair cost, you're doing it the right way there. And now, what's the formula? Like, what's the formula you should be doing, right? Everyone's like, wait, should it be ARV minus repairs? Should it be ARV times? And then the repairs? Should it be the blah, blah, blah? These gurus have you so messed up. It's crazy. Let me talk about this for a second. No one wants to do 80% of what it's worth on its best condition and then take the repairs into account. That is like ridiculously low. That is not what the average real estate cash buyer deals with. ARV minus repairs is what the property is currently worth. That is what it is. That's what it's currently worth. I will argue with any wholesaler. ARV is what it's worth on its best day, and the repair cost is how much it will take this current property to put it into its best day condition, right? That's ARV minus repairs is what the house is worth right now. I will fight anyone on that. On top of that, your cash buyer is going to want a discount for doing the repairs on the property, taking on the risk on buying the house. Maybe you got closing costs on it. That they're going to want a discount on what it's actually worth because they have some cost to it, right? And so that's why it is ARV minus repairs, parentheses, multiplied by a certain amount, right? 70, 80, whatever it is. The ARV minus 80 is the stupidest thing ever. I'm telling you, because of the hassle, the real estate's it's a gamble, right? Insurance, not insurance. They're going to want a discount under what it's worth. That's why in wholesaling, we sell our deals actually below what it's really worth. Now, when I say it's what ARV minus repairs is what it'll probably sell for on the MLS currently right now. Now we're talking about what's the multiplier, right? Well, if you go to freelisting.com, we're gonna I guarantee it, and I don't want to ramble, but somebody's gonna go on the 101 today and say, how do I calculate offers? Like, do you go I went to freelisting.com. Well, did you go by the offer section? Well, I skipped it. Come on, you were literally just keeping yourself broke at this point by doing that, right? So we are on the ARV section here. We're going to go down to my formula. And this is my formula. This is the wholesaling formula. This is it. I don't know what other way to do it, but it is basically for 2023, ARV minus repairs times set the 70%. Yes, if the ARV is below 120 grand. So like a quarter, 10, 15% of all properties out here. Yes, they get that 120-ish type. Right? They get that. Now, when it comes to properties with the ARV of 120 to 100 to 200, because the closing costs are more because of all these things, but the profit's going to be a lot more for the investor, the cash buyer, the rich landlord house flipper, they will accept usually 80% of it. You get to 83% when it comes to this, and properties over 300, about 85. Now, every market's a little different. Oh, well, I think we're in the way here. Oops, there we go. Every market is slightly different. I will admit to you guys on this. So sometimes, your market, it might be 78, it might be 80, right? It might be 65, right? They're all fluid, like they're all changing, right? Yeah. But this is a good base for roughly where you want to be for the MAO. Now screenshot this. Actually, no, screw it. Go to freelisting.com if you want to see it.
Guys, keep in mind, it is a formula. It is a guide. You're still going to have to use your brain to get in there and do it. So if you're using the old school rule, the reason it doesn't work is because the numbers have changed and the markets change. And if you understand percentages, they can be manipulated like on either side of the equation you want to do it. So if you take an equation from 20, 25 years ago and you put it in today's, it's insanity. And you've got to understand that. The reality is sometimes you just have to simplify it. That's why we teach you the going for no. That's why I don't want you guys to do fix and flip, because these numbers are given. It's just a guide. Like, it can be a lot worse depending on how tricked out you want to do it. So what you always have to look at is, am I going to minimize my risk, and how can I maximize my reward? And honestly, if you get the property low enough and you have a robust cash buyers list, listen, if you make a couple grand on your first deal, who cares? You make progress and you go. If someone tells you I had somebody tell us, don't ever do a deal if it's below 10 grand. Now, there's a concept behind it, because the smaller numbers are much more of a pain in the butt. But like, you're not going to get hurt taking a profit. Stop trying to compare yourself to everybody else. Go out, create a win-win situation, find a cash buyer that's going to reward you for your services, and keep doing it. And the more conversation, the more deals you get, the better you get, and the more profitable you get at it, and the better service you provide to your sellers, your cash buyers, and everybody else involved. You cannot just be a robot. This business was never, it is a people person. So we're giving you guides. We have to give you some theory and let you understand it. But when it comes to working on deals, I'll always ask you, if you guys do a one-on-one with me or you're in my Flip with Rick group, what is your risk? How are you minimizing it? And what's the upside? And if you can make the two work together, that's great. If you're going to kill yourself to make $500, you probably need to walk away. But honestly, and then some people go, well, I can make 100 grand, but I got to fund it. I got to fix it. I go, you're not talking wholesaling to me. That's a whole nother department. So always look at your risk, and then look at what your reward and your time hassle involved in it. And wholesaling specifically was created as a niche to solve this problem. And it's the reason it's not gone away. It is not like Amazon stores. It's not like all the other stuff, all the day trading, the Forex, all that other crap. It's here, guys. It never changes. Now, the application, how we do it changed. The markets change. I mean, we're looking at $500,000 houses in markets that they were 50, 100 grand 5-6 years ago. So we want you to change with the times. Wholesaling will always be here. And anyone that tells you it's not going to be here, it means they're going out of business because they don't want to change. You have to change. Get rid of the 70% rule.
Exactly. So let's talk about the MAO. A lot of beginner wholesalers have this issue, and they think that MAO is what they need to put under contract for. And the truth is, it needs to be below that. Okay. So it's like, well, your calculation needs to be this. But you guys are, when you're so like nerdy about your now I'm a nerd too, but like when you're so nerdy about your calculations, it needs to be because you're doing that. I'm offering 70 grand below that thing, and I'm getting it locked up for 60, 70 grand below the MAO. Because I'm just built different. Guys, if you're trying to, I should strive for the MAO. You're going to be striving to stay broke. You need to be making 30, 40 grand on these deals. Go for an offer that you know the seller's going to be saying, it's way away from that MAO. Nobody honestly has the courage to go tell you got to be way below that offer, and you got to actually go out here and get no's. That is the point.
You know why they do that, right?
Why?
Because they're scared of the rejection, and they think,
yeah.
Okay, if the MAO is 180, I'm going to offer 175 because I know inside the head what that seller wants. Listen, your MAO is like a ripcord. Like if you're parachuting, and I've never skydived or anything, and you get to that, whatever it is, 2,000 foot level mark, they're like, pull the cord now. Like if you don't pull that cord, you're going to get killed. This is the same thing. You should never even start near your MAO. Because let me ask you, say your MAO is 180 and I offer, okay, Zach, 175. Will that work for your house? What do you say?
No.
And then you might have had like 180 in your head. You're going to go, no, it's 195 now. You guys, just so that you know, when you approach the maximum allowable offer, if it's closer than what the seller expects, they move with you. Now, if I offer 100 and he was expecting like, 170, 180, so all of a sudden, now they start to chase you. It is a mental game. I'm sorry to give you the truth on this business, but if you chase them too hard, they're like, man, this guy, Rick, really wants this house. Like he's almost at my price now. I'm just going to jack it up a little bit higher. And then the game's at. But when you hit them low, they're like, crap, he's really not interested. Like, and you go, listen, the condition of the house, good luck, but that's my offer. And then you want them to counter. Once they counter, then you have what we call negotiations. But so many of you are trying to get a yes because some of you were taught like realtors, you do not want a yes on your first offer. A yes is like a no to me. So you have to have room. It's psychological. If you guys ever play cards, I'm terrible at it. Like, the bluffers, like a new card player, they're the scariest person in the world to play with because they don't understand the game and you can't even tell if they're actually bluffing. You, unfortunately, are going to have to put it up and you're going to have to go for the opposite of the MAO.
Seriously, guys. So stop stressing over this perfect offer price. I give everyone a 2-3 minute shot clock on offer prices. I'm at 5 minutes if it's a good deal, but like that is it. Oh, I get lost. Oh, there's no comps. What do I do? Go for a stupid low offer. Guys, let me be honest with you. The lower the price, the better, right? Like, so you're never going to know exactly what a cash buyer is willing to pay for without asking. There's risk to getting your deal stolen. Lock up the deal. Try to see what a buyer's going to buy it for. You can get out of the deal. Like, I'm not saying to intentionally do that, but you could. And I'm just like, stop trying to be perfect with your offers. You're going to stay broke by doing this. Go and make a very low offer and see what happens. You guys should be going after LAO except for MAO. We've stressed about this forever. We've talked about this forever, but do LAO. What's LAO? LAO stands for your least allowable offer. Make sure you go for the least you can possibly get. What's the least available offer that I can do that is going to make sure the seller doesn't want to kick me out of the house? That's LAO. Right? It's the least allowable offer that you can offer without getting in trouble, right? I found LAO to be around 70% of your MAO that you calculate. It always changes. It's not perfect, but try that. At minimum, just offer 70% of what your MAO is.
All right, guys, just take 30, 50 grand off what you're thinking in your head, and you're going to have to handicap yourself. So like, I'm terrible at golf. I'm like a 25 plus shot type of guy. So like if I come in like well under it, then I have a shot. Like it's minus 25. I apologize. So it's in the beginning, I used to do that. I didn't trust my numbers. So I just minused off 50 grand. And you'd be shocked what people will say to you.
They'll say yes.
Yeah, but remember, the whole point and intent of it is to get a counter from your seller. Or you can do it this way, which I promise you will fail. Mr. Seller, what's the cheapest you'll sell me the house without kicking me out of here?
That's not going to go.
Translation is when you make a low offer, go for no, you're basically saying that without saying it, and you don't get kicked out. It's, guys, honestly, if I thought they'd say yes to every one of your offers in the beginning, you're crazy. But you guys are so programmed. Everybody wants a yes. You want to ask that person out, you want to get a yes. You want to get that A on the paper. This is not how life really works. You've got to ask for stuff to actually get it. And the problem is most of you trying to guess what your seller's bottom line number is. I promise you have no idea. I thought I could read people. You don't know. And especially in the beginning, you really don't know. So handicap yourself. So if you're going to make a $200,000 offer and your MAO is 225, make it $150. Start knocking 50 grand off of it. And once you trust that the process works and you understand why you're doing it to get the counter, you'll engage a lot more and embrace it. Trust me, I'm trying to make you profitable, successful, and you can't do what every other wholesaler does out there.
That's it. And so I'm not telling you also, I want you to understand when we say about lowball offers, making low offers, it's not that you should go and just say, sell me the house for $20,000. Like I'm not telling you to do that.
Give me $1.
Give me $1 for the house, right? You have to learn how to lowball. There's an art to lowballing. I have about 5 or 6 type of lines I use to lowball sellers. So when I say lowball, you have to lowball it with the right way. You have to come in with the right strategy. All right. So like one thing you have to do is you kind of have to set up the shot, right? So I love basketball. If you're going to make a basket, sometimes you have to do a pump fake. Sometimes you have to set it up. Sometimes someone's got to pass you the ball while you're cutting so you can get the alley-oop or the layup, right? You have to set up the shot. When you set up the shot, you're more likely to make the shot because you're not going to be covered, right? Same thing in making lowball offers. Yeah, you can just throw it up, but you should probably set it up. And if you have like a signature move, like a step back 3, my step back 3 is my good cop, bad cop. The chance of you getting that stupid lowball offer accepted when you set it up goes from 10% chance to about 30% chance. And you might be like, 30% chance? That's a 30% chance of a $50,000 deal.
Yeah.
So like when somebody says I have a 50% 3-point like percentage, it's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, right? Because it's 3 points. What you have to understand is you have to set up the offer. And it's like, how do I set up the offer? You go to freewholesaling.com. Go to the free wholesaling. There's literally videos of me talking to real sellers over the phone and in person using the scripts. There's nothing more I can give to for you to actually learn how to set up the shop. There's nothing more I can do. I show you it. No other real estate guru does stuff like that. It's inside of freewholesaling.com. It's ridiculous that most people aren't in there, but you got to do it. I feel like I'm selling you something. It's free. Costs zero money. Remember, guys, the lower the offers you make over, like, this is all statistics. So for my stats nerds that let's be perfect with their offers, statistically, if your offers are lower, and I want you to know this, statistically, if your offers are lower, you'll make more money on your deals. You'll make more money per wholesaling deal. So just understand that. Lower offers, lower prices, right?
Yep. So there's 2 requirements when you do this technique, okay? And I'm going to promise you, if you break these 2, it won't work. Number 1, you have to build an incredible rapport with the sellers. End of story. If you don't have rapport, you're just a robot. AI can make lowball offers for you. I guarantee you 101% rejection rate on it because nobody wants to do that. The second thing is they got to be off-market properties. This strategy does not work on MLS leads. Sorry, call up a real estate agent you've never met before and give them a lowball offer. And I promise you, you're just going to hear dial tone after dial tone after dial tone. Because let's face it, if you don't know the person trying to buy the property and they make a ridiculous offer, they don't think you're serious at all.
No.
Now, if you take the time to learn about the seller, learn about the home and the challenges they're going through, and you build it up, you're going to lose credibility when you make that offer, but like you're still going to be on the ship. And that's the idea. You're still holding on the ship and then you're just going to work your way back up because the reality, it's the truth. The property needs a discount to be sold. It's got challenges. You didn't create the challenges. Maybe the seller didn't, but it's that environment that it's stuck in. And if you don't understand that, so if you're going to go on MLS and reach out to agents and make lowball offers, I guarantee you a ridiculous failure ratio because they're on-market properties and you built no rapport.
But there are ways to do it. So we do have an MLS wholesaling course, FYI, because we do deals on the MLS. We know how to do it, but you have to set it up the right way. Yep. It's like, how do I make half quarters? It's like, I mean, you probably shouldn't, but I can teach you how to, right? Like there's a science to it, but like, I'm still not going to recommend it, right?
Half what?
Half court shots.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, you shouldn't be doing them, but I mean, you could learn there's a way to do it the right way. So like, you can do on the MLS. I show you how to do it. I do them, but like there's better ways to do it. So
stop the half court shots.
So why am I talking about basketball today? First of all, I love basketball. And number 2, we're talking about shot clocks today. Basketball, that's what shot clocks are.
College or pro?
Pro. And so if you don't know basketball or how it works, when your team gets the ball, you have in the NBA 24 seconds to shoot the basket. You have 24 seconds. That's all you have. So in wholesaling, what I'm going to do for you guys is give you a 5-minute shot clock. Once you have the lead and you're going to calculate the offer price, you have 5 minutes to figure out what your MAO is. 5 minutes. That's all I'm giving you. Why is the point of a shot clock? The point of the shot clock is if there's no shot clock, people just hold the ball. Oh, I'm just going to dribble it. I'm not going to shoot. I'm not going to score. I'm just going to be dilly-dallying all day. And it makes the game terrible. Guess what happens when there's not a shot clock? There's less points because people hold the ball more.
Yep.
So the point is, if the lower your shot clock, the more points you're going to make. And that, I mean, more contracts, more deals, more money. And so 5 minutes, that's all I'm giving everybody. You should honestly be at 2 to 3. But 5 minutes, it's just, the point is you're making a lowball offer. You're going for the LAO. Getting it perfect is not going to do much for you. Get the lowest you can on the deal, and that's it. Stop overcomplicating things. Guys, this isn't some Harvard science thing. Like, we're just writing up contracts to buy houses. Like we're no geniuses here, okay? Like you just don't overcomplicate it. You make it simple. Get a lowball offer, set it up the right way, you're good to go, right? You guys are really overcomplicating this. I will say 90% of all wholesalers overcomplicate wholesaling. We're gonna do some one-on-ones today. You're gonna see it where everyone's like just overthinking everything. And once you just dumb it down, like I'm just saying, like drive for dollars, cold call the government, do blank, blank, blank. Like you just make it simple. You actually do better. Overthinking is going to throw you off. And here's another analogy in basketball. When you hesitate in basketball, when you overthink when you have the ball, when you stress out over it, you don't do better.
Especially if you pass it too much.
Right. You flow like water. Like you see LeBron play, Michael Jordan, the best basketball players, they effortlessly, when they get the ball, they just take action. No, because I mean, they've had the experience, the practice, they don't do, but like they just do it. Like they don't overthink things. They go. Okay. They just, oh yeah, I'm going to think of it. No, they go. You have to do the same exact thing. Don't overcall. I know it's like, oh, it's a smart and intellectual thing to no, it's not. Will not give you any good results in this business, guys. So stop overcomplicating it. The more action you take, the more money you're going to make. That rhymes. The more action you take, the more money you're going to make. I'm going to use that one.